We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig. You decide when you lose, not other people. And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. If you like common sense, hit that thumbs up button and, of course, the subscribe button. And join us Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollers.locals.com. Hello, everybody. It's my face. Happy Wednesday to you. Is it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? It is Wednesday. Let's go. Hey, I'm Stuttering Craig. My God, the week has been crazy to say the least. And I got to be honest, very excited for today's show. Hello, as always, Blabs.
Hi, I have the bucket hat today and the shirt, which, by the way, you did not notice.
Look at that.
I'm repping.
Oh, look at that. Look at how sharp she's looking today.
I look like a boy because you can't even see my hair, but yeah. I'm a real boy now.
How dare you assume your own gender?
I know, I'm a bigot, but I gotta point this out. I built Lego yesterday.
Oh, look at you. Look at those little flowers.
They're actually really cute.
Was those birthday flowers?
Yeah, my mom got me sunflower Legos. And it's funny thing is you built them out of like wrenches, like little orange wrenches. So there you go. Fun fact.
Well, thanks for sharing. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. All right. Well, look, we're going to have a very, very busy day today. We have a lot of friends popping in and out throughout the show. I would say today is kind of like an experimental show with various time slots and friends popping in, talking about various stories, which I encourage you to hang out the entire show because we got a lot going on. But someone who will be with us the entire time today, popping off from one show to the next show, is Epic Mike. Hello, Epic Mike. How are you, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? I'm glad to be here. I don't have a cool bucket hat.
We need to get you one.
Sit one on your head?
No, I don't know. Probably not. I'm going to be honest. Even when I don't have the hair, I have a very big head. It takes a very special kind of hat. So maybe a bucket hat would work. I don't know.
I would love to see. I would love to see you in a bucket hat. Bucket hat Mike. There it is. Changing it up.
I'll have to make it work. And Blabs does kind of look like a boy. I'm going to be real.
See, I am a boy. I'm like Pinocchio. I'm a real boy. I'm a real boy.
I was going to say trans representation, but sure.
That's right.
See, look, we're progressive now.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. Absolutely.
Blabs is your shield now. Yeah, you don't have to ever worry.
Congratulations. That's right.
I protect.
It's good. It's good. Here we are. Hey, man, oh man. Yes, we got a lot going on. So here's what we got going on today. We're going to bring in Master of the TDS in just a second because Master of the TDS had a great story yesterday about the X bots, and we're going to be not the Xbox, but the X bots, the Twitter bots, exposing all of it. He has gotten to the root of why you're seeing all the bots everywhere, and it's crazy. With that said, so we're going to bring in TDS in just a second. He's going to be joining us for the first half of the show. Coming up at 11:30. Smash JT will be joining us today, which is, like I said, I always like to talk with people than about people. So we invited Smash on. He'll be joining us for about 10, 15 minutes to talk about the ongoing saga and how he has won the battle between him and video game journalists or bloggers. We also are going to have, for the first time for a few minutes, I thought this would be really fun to try. We're going to be having Daniel from I Am the Icarus on the show today. I Am the Icarus is a band, and they support the show. And Daniel wrote this book called Wizards and Warriors and Me and My Life in Video Games. They sent me a copy, and I was like, well, how about you come on and talk about it? And he's from the community, so I thought, hey, we'd do a little community spotlight today. So that'll be coming up at 11:50 today. So look, we got a lot going on today. Your support is always appreciated, as always. But let's first bring in Master of the TDS. Hello, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. I was told I must arrive to completely mess up the schedule.
You've done a great job of that. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Mission accomplished.
Everything is perfect. I'm glad you're with us, and we have a lot to talk about. Now, I think the first thing we need to discuss before we dig into anything, and I complete the intro, is people don't realize, and you told me this the other day, and I think it's important to know. You DM this to me. And I don't want to out our private conversations, but I think it's important for people to know what the TDS means at the end of your name, because a lot of people would think that TDS in today's climate may mean Trump derangement system with syndrome, but it does not. It does not.
No.
What does it mean?
It actually means I came up with it way before Trump derangement syndrome was even a thing. I used to do content on YouTube, which was Yu-Gi-Oh! Related content. And my favorite card was a card called the Total Defense Shogun, which was a monster that could attack from defense mode. And so I kind of thought, oh, defense is the best offense. I kind of like that. So I decided to call myself the master of the Total Defense Shogun. And so it was easier to say master of the TDS. And then long story short, kind of got, I guess people threatened to dox me, and I was younger and just kind of left for 6 years. And then I came back, and this name's kind of stuck since then.
Oh,
So.
I seriously thought it was Trump derangement syndrome because you always pissed them off on Twitter. I'm like, damn, it really takes it, to the name. Oh.
Nope. I own the joke now. I mean, I kind of have to, but
I love it. But it was, you mentioned that yesterday, and I was like, oh, it makes sense. But and I appreciate you owning it, which is wonderful. So, well, good stuff. Well, like I said, I would love to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! and what was it?
Trust me, you don't. I no shade to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community, but they're all of them are very nice. It's kind of toxic there. You don't want to make yourself a target.
So what you're saying is they're not normal men. They're not normal men over there, huh? No.
Nope.
With that said, I'd like to remind everybody we are live over at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Join us over there. Hit the follow button as we have flown past 7,000 followers over there, approaching 7,500. Do us a favor, hit the follow button over there. Why do we love Rumble, Blabs?
Because we grow organically.
That's right. We grow organically. You also could have found out that Mike was going to be on the show and TDS was going to be on the show. And I am the Icarus is going to be on the show today. If you followed us over on X, you can also watch the show over on X. If you haven't yet, make sure you guys follow us over there at Side Scroller Pod. We also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
We do, so follow us for memes and clips of the show. Otherwise, well, a stern talking to from Epic Mike.
Oh, Mike's going to be so upset. We also
not you kids.
Hey, do you see this? Do you see what's happening right here? Don't let that happen. By the way, when did we get rid of this? When did this go away? We need to bring this tisk.
Yeah.
What does this mean anyways? Does anybody have any idea what this means?
I always think of a worm.
Worm.
Like
I always thought it was
worm.
sharpening a knife, like you're gonna,
You're threatening a child? Tisk.
Yeah.
TDS, do you have any idea what this means?
No.
Yeah. Blabs, can you get to the bottom of that and do a little producing right this
Can
morning?
you Google that? What does tisk mean? Like stroking a finger? I'm not Googling that. So
okay, Mighty Megatron over on Rumble and Pickleist Miguel says it means shame. But why does this mean shame? Of all things. So why does this mean shame? I don't know.
I can't Google that. I don't know what I'm gonna find.
Just okay. Just do your best, Blabs. You are a master Googler.
It's a landmine out there.
It is.
To me, it looks like someone trying to skin an animal. Just throwing it out there.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. It's a weird way to take it, TDS, but I appreciate that.
What? Doesn't look like shame. I thought that was picking up a bell and dinging it, or that's just Game of Thrones.
I found stuff. Mystery of origin solved. Shame. Finger gesture.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna read this to myself first.
Okay. Yeah. Do a little proofing first before you bring it to the public. And while you do that, I want to let you know. Speaking of shame, there's a wonderful place called Kick that we're on, which is loaded with shame. Blab knows that for fact because she watches all the weird girls over there at kick.com/sidescrollers. You can find us over there. You can also find the audio version of the show over at Apple Podcast and Spotify. If you don't want to look at our stupid faces, you can listen to our stupid voices over there any day, all the time. Everything is uploaded over there. And of course, you can find us over at sidescrollers.locals.com, which is a great place to be if you want to get notified every single show and not have to worry about YouTube notifications. Sidescrollers.locals.com is a great place to be, where we're going to be doing more stuff over there regularly. With that said, you are watching us over on YouTube. If it's your first time, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button and join us. The 82,714. I'm literally I'm sorry, 26 subscribers to the channel who love common sense in the video game and entertainment space. That is what we do here on a day-to-day basis. Do us a favor, hit the like button as we so we can blow past 900 likes, and let's do our best to get to 25 memberships today. But yes, Blabs, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that you have only 3 days remaining to pick up the one, the only, the amazing Blabs the Tower Tar karaoke t-shirt and bucket hat. They'll be gone in just 3 days from now. So pick it up right now. If you've been staring at it for a month, you're like, I don't know. Now it's go time. Go pick it up right now. Link is in the description. And while you're at it, my daughter made this amazing design, and I liked it so much I put it on a t-shirt, and she gets $5 for every time one of these is sold. It's right there. It's the Let Us Skateboard t-shirt. Pick it up right now. Limited edition. So far, my daughter has made $45. And every day, she says, Daddy, did we sell any more t-shirts today? Because she wants to know when she's going to get paid. So listen. So when my daughter goes, Daddy, did we sell any more t-shirts today? I can say, yes, honey. You made $5 more or whatever. So pick one up right now if you want to. Skateboard. Let us skateboard with the weird wolf in person thing that she made. I love it. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Before we continue, I have to explain this to you guys.
Okay.
The shame is restricted to North America. The rubbing of two fingers is thought to symbolize friction. It's a related gesture to Wales, Germany, and Austria, in which one finger saws across the point of one another, which is considered an insult, again, with the friction message. So
Okay.
Rubbing two things together like that does create friction. That is correct.
this is friction. Shame. They're all
Okay.
unknown, though. Like, why people like to do this, just a thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we know. Thanks for that, Blabs.
Yeah, and thank you to the website Live Journal, where someone's like, hey, why is this happening? And they even have a little GIF going like this.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you say, as pointed out in the chat, did you say gesture? You mean a gesture?
Gesture.
A
Gesture.
gesture. Yes.
Gesture.
Oh, that's
So-
the Canadian coming out.
Listen, I say a lot of things wrong, multiple accents, languages. Leave me alone.
It's just the Canadian. Yeah, it's not the American.
Like I say, what do you guys say? Salmon.
Salmon?
Salmon?
Salmon. Yeah,
Because
you eat
I'm
salmon.
used to the Italian word salmone, right? And I'm just like salmon. They're like, what? I'm like, I don't know what language anymore, so it's fine.
Don't blame the Italians for this, Labs.
Hey, Tulsa.
Wow.
Oh.
Thanks, Blabs. All right.
You're welcome.
All right. Look, we got some great sport to start the show. Really appreciate all that today. We're going to read every single super chat, direct donation, and Rumble rant that comes in today, including Leads When Shot. It says Blabs is a bro chacho. Hey, look at that. Look at that bro chacho, Blabs. Maybe we should change your name down there, Blabs. Just saying. The Worthy One says, glad to see things are back to normal on your end, Craig, and happy belated birthday, Blabs. Yeah, the weather was intense. I saw a tweet today. Maybe let's see if I can pull this up. This is, people don't understand the weather that came through Texas, North Texas in particular, the last couple days. I was not able to be on Tuesday night's main event after the insanity. I would have loved to, but I need to find this tweet. And this was, I like this tweet because it really puts in perspective. Yes, here we go. This is, I've never seen anything like this ever. This is an entire tree after 80-mile-an-hour winds that came through. Take a look at this. This is unbelievable here. Look at this tree that was totally uprooted right out of the curb. Out of the curb. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life?
That's wild. No.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what we were dealing with here.
I
So-
love it that they just uprooted the entire section. It was like not just the roots, everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Just
Yep, the
pull it all
entire
out.
thing. So anyways, my yard looks like it threw up. And so I've been doing a lot of picking up and stuff. And yes, we did get power and internet back, which is why we're here today, which is
How long
wonderful.
did you have it without? Was it like 12 hours plus?
Yeah, oh yeah, well over 12 hours. Yeah, yeah.
Rough.
And we also
Texas, get your shit together and buy a generator.
Generators are becoming a thing. Yeah, for sure. Kite, the Twin Blade says, as a former semi-pro Yu-Gi-Oh player, season 1 through 8, I love that TDS.
I think his name is even a reference to Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, we'll just say it is. We'll say it is. And Slaglust, who also may be a reference to Yu-Gi-Oh, says, this past week proved the phrase, a fool and his money are soon parted, to be so true. Imagine if someone crowdfunds to be able to buy this skin. Yeah, we're going to get into the $500 skin from League of Legends in a little bit for sure. That's a big one. And Al came in with 5, says, shout out to Epic Mike for preaching the gravy gospel.
Yeah. Have you guys listened to that song?
No. What's the gravy gospel? What's that?
All right, I'm going to pull this up for you guys. Yeah, it's an AI song. I can't. Yeah, I've been spreading this everywhere. So, yeah.
Okay. Love it. Lucian also came in yesterday. Missed this one. Came in with an $8 direct donation. $8. Says, you guys are awesome. Thanks for the laughs. Welcome up to Sage Gross. Fan effing-tastic. I can't say that. I can't say the bad words because my daughter's here. Lucian, thank you very much. And Tech Support Gaming came in with a 5. Says, Blabs looks like a normal man. She's just an innocent man. Looking sharp, Blabs. I'm going to buy a t-shirt when I get paid. Hey, thanks so much, Tech Support Gaming.
Am I allowed to share my screen? This is not very long. It's 1 minute.
Yes.
Right.
No, Mike, you're not allowed to.
So this is a song that I discovered on TikTok. You will not get struck for this song. It is all of it. The art for it, the music, the lyrics are all generated by AI. The guy put in the prompts to it and told it what it wanted, and he wanted a like southern blues song, or not blues, but like kind of like a blues song about KFC. And I share this everywhere I go.
Let's go.
Chicken grease in my soul. That's how I roll. KFC, baby. It's my favorite. Oh, give me that bucket. I said, give me that bucket. I think, give me that bucket. A finger licking chicken. From Kentucky to the bayou. The flavor's so right. That secret recipe keeps me up all night. Gotta have that crunch, that wonderful.
Yeah, Craig's feeling it. Come on, man.
KFC, baby. It's a chicken paradise.
All right, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Get better.
Fried and crispy, can't resist me. KFC, a southern mystery, project chicken, finger licking, come and get it.
Bro,
That clock
so
is
good.
ticking. Fried and crispy, don't you miss me. KFC, you're making history. Let's get lost. Oh, keep the cost low. KFC is the gravy gospel.
Wow.
Bro, yeah. Isn't
was
that wild?
Yes. Holy moly.
Everywhere I go, I share that. I play it on my channel all the time. I know we're not supposed to support
That's gonna
AI.
be your intro music. You're starting soon
I
music.
play it a lot, but listen, I know we're not supposed to support AI. I know it's called a mess, but listen, just that would make you pack it up, okay?
Yes.
You know, instead
I
of
kind of want
Terminator,
to try KFC now.
yeah, instead of Terminator
Congratulations.
showing up and shooting people with laser guns, he just shows up and plays this song for you, and you go, "This is the future," and you just give up. You let Skynet happen. So
It's all
Do you know
done.
what he reminds me of a bit? That AI, he reminds me of Marvin Gaye a little bit.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
oh,
that
he probably sampled Marvin Gaye for sure. Like, yeah,
I was like,
so
trouble
cracking.
man.
yeah. Craig was feeling it. He got the hands going. He knew. Yeah.
Dude, I was
No.
straight up like doing the MC Hammer running, man, in the middle of that. That was legit. All right, let's get into we got a lot to talk about today, and we're on a tight schedule today, and we have so many fun guests. We got TDS here, and TDS yesterday. Let's get right into this. We'll come back to today in gaming history and the hard news intro and everything in a little bit, but I want to value TDS's time because TDS, you came down with a pretty big story yesterday.
Yes.
A lot of people have been talking about these bots over on X, and you have gotten to the bottom of it. Why don't you fill us in on this?
So basically, with the help of another YouTube channel called Upper Echelon, great guys over there, they helped me kind of do some node maps. And one of the things that we were able to find through the use of the node maps is we were able to trace back a lot of these hashtags and where they come from and what was the most common one. And we ended up tracing it back to a company which is called VNXNet. It's a Vietnam-based company, and they brag about using bots. They have a tool specifically made to do this, where they have a tool that automatically bypasses the captchas and allows you to, that their whole goal is to get you monetized as quickly as possible so that you can use, as they say, it says here, you could reach 5 million views by interacting with famous people, or you can use the buff service. So they have a service with this tool that allows you to get monetized immediately. And then what they do is they do the use of bots that farm engagement. They literally have where they will be stealing money. They even brag that they're stealing it out of Musk's pocket. That's an actual quote from their Telegram.
Okay, so this is a Vietnam company, and I after watching your video, I went and did a little digging on this company, and I everything, it looks like it's in Vietnamese. I can't read it as an English speaker. So how does somebody somebody go in and find this company to begin with? Is there an English speaking side of the site that I missed, or what?
No, we actually translated it. So
okay. So what's stopping? Okay, so we see these. One of the things that you've continuously done over the past, I don't know, several months is you've been really digging in to where this all starts. So you're saying that there's like these master accounts, and then these smaller accounts that are just getting going. They more or less build up momentum within the algorithm. Am I kind of paraphrasing that correctly?
Well, here, I actually prepared one thing to show.
Okay.
Because I think this will make it very, very clear what these people do. This is from their own Twitter account. And again, I go into this more during the video that I have on the channel, but here you go.
Okay.
This, I think, describes what they do fairly well. You can see loading the thing, and you can see a ton of these payments popping up, one after another. And that's just from farming engagement. That's what they're doing. You can see he just clicked the button, and all those payments are coming up. This was actually uploaded to their Twitter account. They were bragging about this. So see, if you had one account that was getting a ton of payments, it would probably set off something in Twitter's own like servers or whatever. I don't know how they would determine it, but these are all small amounts of payment at once. You can see they brag it's about $300 per payment. And so all he had to do was click a button, and you'll see all of these payments popping up one after another. And they do that. I even have footage on my video of them scrolling through a couple different accounts at once. So this is a thing that they're doing. And if they're doing it, who's to say other people aren't doing it? If it's that easy to do and get away with it, then, I've been finding them interacting with Disney and other things. Like, who's to say Disney and other people can't do this too if this company can do it?
So how much does this service cost?
So that was the one thing we were unable to find, but you pay a flat rate for it. So I imagine you messaged them and they would tell you kind of what it was. But I would imagine it's not that expensive, because I would believe that perhaps they get a cut of it, what you get. But the idea here is that I was actually able to prove that basically what happened was I found the original account that I found that was promoting Disney stock, which was called Boodle Zoop. That's what's kicked this whole thing off. I was able to prove that it's connected to VNXNet. And so that account had at the end, before it was gone, had about, actually, I didn't mention this in the video, but before the account actually got removed, it got removed actually immediately after I was on Side Scrollers last time. So I don't know if that's coincidental or whatever, but it had 365 comments when I last saw it before the account was taken down. But we was able to prove in this video that this account was probably a effort by VNXNet to farm ad revenue. And you can see 1.5 million views. Like, all of those impressions are making them money. And all they need to do, it's not even difficult. They have a CAPTCHA solving automatically. They just have to push a button and they get paid. And that's it.
Which is what we're seeing here, right?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, that's what we're seeing.
And again,
on this right
I want to make very clear, they are bragging about this on their Telegram. They say literally that you can do this and get money out of Musk's pocket. That's a direct quote.
Okay, so the idea is that really anybody can do this. Anybody reaches out to this company, they run more or less a script. So let's say I work with this company, okay, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get to my engagement thresholds over on X, because the engagement thresholds on X for monetization is like 10 million. It's vast. Like you have to have a pretty big following to be able to get to that amount. So they more or less. So I work with this company. I say, hey, let's do this. They then, through all of their sock accounts and these fake accounts, they then will boost a post that I have, pushing it out further, boosting its engagement to, like in this case of the Moodle Zoop over here, of 1.5 million views. Which then, once again, everything that's said in this post is just like goobly gook. It's nothing, right? It's just a bunch of, corporate profits are still the top concern. Like nobody speaks like this, right? This is very clearly some sort of bot service, but it has 1.5 million views and only 380 likes. Now, my pea brain doesn't quite understand this. How do you go from 380 likes to 1.5 million views
when it's not real people? That's the idea. I mean, keep in mind, we now have where you can get ads in the comments. They literally show videos on their YouTube channel where they literally have all these bots coming in and clicking on the ads and doing this, and they get paid for it. So literally, this is just making Twitter into an ATM for them. And keep in mind, if they can do this, and someone was asking in the chat, how do they solve the captchas automatically? They downloaded a tool. They have a tool. They use browsers to get around this, to get around the rate limits for Twitter. So they basically do that, and they use this tool to automatically solve the captchas when they get locked out of the accounts. And voila, it's an automated money farm.
Wow. So your assumption is that companies like Disney and EA and these companies that see high engagement, they are hiring companies, not necessarily this company, but companies like this to do things like this to artificially boost engagement and drive conversation around their products?
Well, I mean, we've known they do this for quite some time. The difference has been we haven't had like receipts of it. Now, I can't 100% prove that Disney is behind this, but keep in mind, this is a company based out of Vietnam. Like, I can't imagine, I don't know how many people they're employed or whatever, but this is just a company that someone who decided to do this, and they're selling this tool. If it's that readily available and easy to do for this company, do you really want to tell me that nobody else is doing it, that no other company is just using this? I find it highly unlikely, especially since a lot of these accounts, like recently I found that a lot of accounts were promoting the new Doctor Who stuff. And one of the things that I found interesting is people always ask me, okay, well, why would they do this? It's just not just to farm money. What would be the other reason? Well, I noticed that one thing that was interesting for me, I paid attention. Grok is installed into Twitter now, and it summarizes certain things that are trending. And it was always summarizing Doctor Who, but for some reason, no matter how many people were talking about how it wasn't doing well or whatever, it still had a positive spin to it. They would say like, oh, it did badly and whatever, but critics are this, whatever. But now I look and I go, okay, there's a bunch of accounts promoting Jinx Monsoon or the show. So, does that influence Grok at all? Does Grok know that those aren't people? I don't know. I mean, I can't prove that there was a direct correlation, but that's a pretty good, determination. And I've actually seen people interact with this. So it would not be too difficult to do because, I mean, think about it. You can promote things and make money off of it technically. So there's double incentive to do this. You make money and you promote your product to other people.
So we're looking at not only just promoting your stuff, but also really forcing a narrative. Because as you said, you search something on Gronk. Is it Gronk or Gronk? Whatever it is, the AI version of X, and they search something, you'll find a positive narrative based off of the overwhelming push from these bots and these nodes and that you're speaking about, these accounts. That's so yeah, man, there's actually a more nefarious. Now, here's a bigger question. Is this illegal? Are you technically stealing? Is this something like morally, I guess, because I mean, like Matthew's like, hey, what's the name of this company? I'd like to make some free money for some free effortless money, right? I think everyone's kind of wondering that, like, well, is there anything wrong with this? Can this actually come back to bite you in the butt in any way, shape, or form?
I imagine it could. I mean, the term that I would use and the term that, Upper Echelon used in his video as well is ad fraud, because that's technically what is going on. Now, is there a direct rule against this? No. Is there a case to be made where this could be illegal for certain reasons? Yes. Now, the biggest part here, could this come back to bite you in the butt? Actually, yes, and I'll tell you how. A lot of people think that Twitter is just infested with bots and they have no problems and no way of dealing with it. Wrong. They have tons of ways of dealing with it. I actually made an account to follow a lot of these accounts so I could keep tabs on what they were doing. Not only did I get locked out multiple times because I hit a follower cap or they found I had suspicious behavior, but they knew very quickly, within a couple minutes, that something was wrong with my account. Now, they have these captcha solving programs to get around this, right? But think about it. Twitter has all these things implemented and they're not doing anything. So it makes me wonder, like, okay, we understand that Elon wants people to invest advertising money into Twitter. So he keeps saying how the impressions are going up, right? What evidence do we have of this? How do we know it's not just a bunch of bots? And if it's a bunch of bots and that convinces an advertiser, it's a never-ending cycle. Think about it. Bunch of bots boost the analytics. Elon Musk says, look, we're doing better. A new advertiser comes in, right? And then, okay, now the bots are boosting that advertisement. The advertiser gets, I guess, paid to some degree. I guess there's some cut there, and they make money off of it, and Elon Musk makes money off of it too. So, I mean, I want to hope. I really want to hope, and I want to give benefit of the doubt to Elon for this. But what are we supposed to look at? A certain point, you look at this and go, what's going on, and why is it being allowed to continue? And that's if Elon Musk was here, and this is something I actually wanted to do. I'm going to sidetrack just for a second. If Elon Musk was watching this, there's one thing that I'd want to ask him here. What are you hoping to accomplish from this? You're going to have a giant platform full of bots and less people, because the more bots you allow to run rampant on here, the less people are going to remain here. So what is your end goal? Just making a money farm and you hope nobody gets away with it? I really hope that's not the case. I really do.
Well, there's a couple layers to this, right? You need to pay the $8-9 a month, whatever it is, for Twitter Blue, right? To have that account first and foremost before you can be eligible for monetization, and then you got to pay the service on top of that to make money. I don't know. I think most people would take $303 a month, and then they say, like, let Elon figure it out. You know what I mean?
That's $300 a month if you have one account. If you have 10 accounts, suddenly now you're making a bunch more. If you have 20 accounts, you're making a bunch more. Think about it. And I think I can tell you from the node graph in the video, if you had to ask me how many of these accounts are out there, I would say a couple 100,000, easy.
Wow. Okay. It looks like we got our own little cottage industry here. We can start up. Side scrollers bots coming soon, which will be great. Wow, man. Well, it's really really interesting for sure. So thank you very much for that. I'm sure you'll have more information on this as we go. And have you heard anything from Elon on this at all?
No, he has yet to acknowledge me in any possible way. I will say I find it interesting that sometimes when I post about certain bots, they suddenly my wife is saying you need to upgrade the bots to add the in master of the TDS, because basically I want to hope that things are going to change here, but like I don't know. I really hope that something changes, but Elon hasn't acknowledged me. He hasn't done anything. He has so a lot of the accounts that I promote that or talk about get suspended. They do. The Moodle Zoop one was gone after side scrollers. A couple ones promoting Star Wars Outlaws were also gone, but no acknowledgement, none. And I don't necessarily need it, but it would be cool, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Jeremy comes in and says, okay, I'll earn an extra $6,000 a month. Right. Right. All right. Well, I need to do a little bit of digging here and research. Well, I appreciate the insight on this, and everyone can go check out the video that you made. It's really well done. It's only about 7.5 minutes long over on the Gothic Therapy channel. You guys go find that over there. Make sure you guys go subscribe and check out all the great work that Master of the TDS is doing over there. I think it's really important that you guys do, and go watch the video for yourself. You can see he's doing very well. And so, yeah, please go check it out and support it, which is great work, TDS. Appreciate that, man.
That's what I'm here for.
Love it. All right, like I said, today's going to be kind of an experimental show, as we're going to be moving from thing to thing to thing, and I'm going to bring in our next buddy here today as we go along. Once again, we do see all your support, all your super chats, all your Rumble rants, and direct donations, and your merchandise that you've picked up. So thank you guys very much. We'll read all that here in just a little bit, but I would like to bring in our next friend here, Smash JT. Smash, how are you, man?
Good. I'm so glad TDS didn't leave, because I really wanted to say hello to him directly, because
Hello.
he's been like so impactful in everything that I've been doing and not getting the credit he deserves. So keep up the great work, man. You're awesome. Seriously.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. And you're right. TDS deserves way more credit, and that's why we have him on the show, because he deserves that credit. He's busting his hump over here, trying to make things happen, which is great.
Yeah,
And
that
he's
was
doing a great
surprise.
job.
I wasn't expecting him to be here today. I was like, oh damn.
Surprise.
Cool.
Surprise. All right, well, you are here, Smash. So let's talk about your ongoing saga with everything over the last week, or I guess few days or so. We talked about your story.
Oh, hold on, Craig. Since the last
Sure.
time we spoke, like a week ago.
Yes. Well, last time you were on, I don't think this was even a thing, and
No.
and then
Totally unrelated.
It was just
Right,
about the
right.
wife's DMs.
right. So you came on, and then really, like, the S hit the fan early this week. I guess it was technically over the weekend, Memorial Day long weekend, where Nick Calandra of Second Wind, who we've discussed more than I thought we'd ever discuss. We had him on one time when they launched Second Wind, and since then it's been talking about stuff. So anyways, he more or less put together a campaign to pull the Smash JT website down because you had a list of friends of Kotaku on the website. Is that correct?
That is pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay. So walk me through this. He reaches out to Wix, says that it's harassment. Then your website gets pulled down.
Let's back it up a little bit, because we had an email exchange prior to that where he reached out to me because I had him on the Kotaku Detected page for his alleged doxing campaign against Grums. I want to make sure I say alleged, because this person likes to throw around lawsuit threats to everyone. And I put him on there for that, and he reached out to me very kindly, and he kind of picked me up from underneath and was like, hey man, I don't expect you to like me. I know you got a bad impression of me because there's people that you associate with that don't like me. So, that whole thing. He's like, but I can just be honest with you as who I am. Those things that they're saying that I did not do. And I'd really appreciate it if you took me off the Kotaku Detected list. And that's the short version of the email he sent me. It was a very kind, professional, very nice email.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, damn. Like, I got the real wrong impression of this guy. Everyone made him out to be like such an asshole. I'm like, so down to earth and normal. I was like, oh my God. Okay. I felt bad. Like, genuinely. I was like, oh man. Okay. Full disclosure. I told him, I was like, I didn't do the research necessary to feel confident about having it up there. I just trusted people of what they researched and what they said about you. And I just linked their information. But if you're telling me that they're lying about it or whatever, and I have not personally confirmed it, I'll take you off the list. And I apologize to him. I'm like, really sorry about the misunderstanding there. And I was like, cool, okay. And he was like, okay, thank you for that. And you're gonna take Kotaku Detected down, right? And I'm like, no, that's not what we talked about. Like, we
Right.
talked about you, and now you're bringing the whole page into this. And I'm like, that's a totally different topic. That's, if these people have issues, individual concerns, or anything like that, they're more than welcome to reach out to me, just like you did, and express to me what the situation is. And he was like, I strongly recommend you take that down, because he kept falling back to, we're concerned for our safety, and it's for our protection. People are going to target us. and this is going to end badly for somebody. And I'm like, you're making quite a leap here. I mean, I guess anything's possible, and you jump straight to that, which is kind of going to an extreme. Harassment is not the intention of the page. It never has been. I've made sure not to include any direct social links, emails, or anything that's publicly available on Kotaku's website itself for these people. And I think it was Hypnotic that was joking about it on a live stream we did the other day, where he's like, Kotaku is indicting themselves here. They've literally doxed their entire team with all their links of account information and
right.
resources and Twitter.
Right. By having their contact list available. Right.
Which I didn't even do. I'm like, I'm not even going to do that because that's going too far, in my opinion. I wanted to go above board, make sure there's nothing anyone can say about it. I just want to list these people and their actions they've done, so we have a resource to reference of. Because honestly, I think you guys probably agree. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it's gotten so widespread that it's almost like people are starting to forget about the horrific things that some of these journalists have done and said, because there's just so many of them doing such horrible things. So I wanted to put it in a place where I'm like, let's make sure we remember what they've said and done and not let them just get away with that. Like, and when I say that, obviously Nick jumps to, oh, you want to physically harm them? You want to harass them and dox them and hurt their family? I'm like, no, I want them to be accountable. Isn't their side always about accountability culture? Like they want people to be accountable.
That's also one thing with journalists. The whole idea is that you're supposed to hold the powerful accountable for their actions. That's like the entire idea of journalism, or at least one of the main points of it. So, as a journalist, they should understand the idea of accountability. So
that's wild to say it like that. Yeah.
I mean,
Mike?
Well, to Smash's point too, and I just talked about this a little bit ago on Geeks and Gamers Daily. Like, the fact that Nick is so quick to start screaming about lawsuits. When he was dealing with other people saying, hey, he's harassing me, or hey, this is going on. Hey, I might have been doxxed by this guy. And they're openly celebrating people's websites getting taken down. It just shows that there's definitely a double standard there. And I'm not mincing words to say that it's absolute cowardice, because that's the thing. They're gonna gang up. They're gonna stir up an entire hornet's nest of people to go take down a website. And then the second that somebody goes, yo, you said this crazy thing here, just because like Alyssa Mercante, for example, likes to tweet a bunch of crazy stuff out and then delete the tweet and pretend like she didn't say any of it, doesn't mean that she didn't. And the fact is, like, these people have jobs and work in positions where they should be accountable. The higher up you are in leadership, the more accountable you have to be, with the things that are being said and the way that your company operates. And the fact is, like, they're representing some of these companies. They talk about it. They talk sometimes for these companies in their tweets and on social media and stuff. But yeah, they're also the quickest people to throw hands and the quickest people to run away and scream that they're being attacked. When somebody goes, hey, I just think people should be able to see what you said. Just because you decided to delete it doesn't mean that you still don't believe that. And the fact that you deleted it probably means that you don't want people to see it, because that there'll be some kind of reckoning for that, And the thing is, like, at the end of the day, we know that a lot of these people are on sinking ships with the companies that they work for. We know that they're not making money. We know that there's heat on these companies, that they're doing layoffs and all this kind of stuff. And I just think that it really does expose how hypocritical these people are. But it also exposes that they're not interested in playing fair. They're not interested in actually having any level of integrity, having any level of decency. It just is, I want power and I want access and I want to be able to say and attack whoever I want to attack, and don't say anything back to me because I should be untouchable because of what I said. And it's really
and they always
cowardice.
And like I said, they fall back to it's for our protection that you shouldn't hold us accountable. So
well,
that's
And that's the same argument they use when they attack websites. Like other people like, well, the reason I'm calling this guy out is because he could cause harm to the community.
Mhm.
You know, the reason we're doxing people is because they could be harmful to the community. We're just trying to keep these people accountable. And then you go, well, what if we do the same to you? And they're like, you're attacking me.
Well,
I
it's
could be
interesting.
hurt, you
It's
know?
interesting you say that, because that was actually the same rationale that Alyssa had for reaching out and contacting my wife, is because she was worried that I would be harming the community and that she wanted to let her know who she was married to.
Yeah.
And
So
if that doesn't strike you as the most psychotic thing you've ever heard of,
Right. You, the person who's married to this person, needs to know who you're really married to. This guy I met on. Well, with that said, I'm glad we got TDS here, because TDS, you mentioned the tweet about Alyssa and the list of all the creators that she made, or the list of videos that she made, in as far as videos that were made about her. And in doing so, you know, there was this list here, and she quickly deleted this. Now, I asked Nick, I told you the other day, I had conversations with you, Smash. I invited you on, but you weren't in the right headspace, probably rightfully so, to come on when all this was going on. But I had a conversation with Nick as well behind the scenes, and I was like, and I asked him, I said, you know, what is it about? How is what Smash JT had on it different than the list of the creator list Mercante tweeted out? And I said, do you feel that Mercante's list is targeted harassment as well? Because that's what they filed you under for Wix, was targeted harassment. And his response was no, because it's not personal. It's a list of videos made about her. And I asked him again, I said, for clarity, what about Smash's list was personal? It's a list of people who are, quote, friends of Kotaku. And he never actually responded to that. There was no real clarity as to what the differentiator was outside of it's just personal. So I can't get a better answer than that on that. So,
I think the answer is that road only goes one way, and we all already know that. And it's kind of funny when you corner them and say that, it always ends up with no response.
And he's gone on to say it's all he's going to say about it. So he's quiet on things, and we can reach back out to him and see. I mean, I have open DMs. I think I no longer am allowed to follow him over on X, which is weird, but I got to follow him because I went into like hiding or blocked everybody or whatever.
Well, he went into protected mode a couple weeks ago, I think, at least a week ago, went into protected mode. And that's when he started issuing the commands and orders to his followers to start mass reporting my website behind the veil of a protected mode where I couldn't see it. I couldn't protect myself from it. I couldn't be proactive about it. And it all just happened all at once without me even being able to do anything. I mean, that is like so sneaky and backhanded that it's like, it's evil. I'm like, what the hell? That's messed up.
It's chicken shit. That's what it is. You can call it what it is. It's chicken shit.
I didn't want to swear until you did.
so let's fast forward here. So you had a tough day on Monday. You come back in. They're like, hey, your smashjt.com is down. And then walk me through kind of the step-by-step of what happened.
So I had a really bad night's sleep. Like I said in my video about it, I don't typically lose sleep over this. I usually turn the camera off and go on with my day no matter what. Like, it's like whatever. But this really affected me because I've been really putting a lot of work into smashjt.com for years now. Every day, I try to hold myself accountable. Funny, I try to hold myself accountable to at least one article a day on smashjt.com. It's like a personal goal that I set for myself. Sometimes I do more than that, but I want to do at least one. And all that work was just in an instant gone, and I had at that moment, no recourse, no information, no idea what happened, how it happened, why it happened. I just got an email saying, we've taken your site down due to whatever the verbiage was of it, like you said. And I was like, okay. I wrote a response as level-headed as I could. I was so groggy from just what transpired. And I was just like, let me write this back to him. And a whole day went by and nothing, because that was all Monday. So it came down Sunday night, and I got an email when I woke up. So
Mhm.
all day Monday it was offline, and then Tuesday morning I woke up to an email that was like, "Hey, thank you for all your follow-up information. We've restored your website and premium features of it. You can publish your website again. Feel free to contact us with any questions you might have. Kind regards." And it's from someone else, not the same
Right.
person that took it down, which is interesting. And they said, "Thank you for your follow-up information about your content." And they confirmed that it was not against the terms of service. So it was ultimately a false flagging event that they felt justified, and probably in their twisted minds probably still do feel justified about what they did. But the reality is it was a false flagging event, and this is proof of that.
So they found that it was not, in fact, targeted harassment, and it did not break their terms of service, and that
Correct.
what you
Even
did was
though
just, go ahead.
even though all the tweets from them were dancing on the grave of it, saying, "Well, this is what you get. Well, if it's not the consequences of your own actions," like all that stuff. And I'm like, well, but I didn't do that. What you're saying I didn't do. So this is not fair to me. What's going on right now?
Well, but the good news is that it is back up, and
Yes, it is back
you more or less been validated.
Yes, although I will say, if history has taught me anything with those type of people, is to never celebrate too hard, because they'll look at that as a challenge. And even in a victory, I always feel there's always another foot to drop. Like, what are they going to try to do next to me? What's happening next? Because they want people to live in fear. They want you to be afraid of them. They want to have the control and the power. So I'm doing my best Craig impression of just towing the line, trying to go as center as I can with all of it, and not let them scare me.
Well, Mike, you got anything? TDS, you got anything on this?
I actually do.
Yes.
I know that she's going to hate me for this because she told me to stop harassing her. But Alyssa has responded to your website coming back up, Smash. I don't know if you know that.
Oh,
What does she
breaking
say?
news.
She says, "Keep your website. It helps me, crazy face."
Oh,
All right.
Oh,
mean-
sounds like cope and seething. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just funny how 24 hours can change someone from saying that's what you get, you deserve it, or something along those lines, to whatever, fine, it doesn't matter either way. I still win in my mind anyways.
Well,
Right.
that's the thing. Yeah, you couldn't. It wouldn't matter if they took a complete loss. They're always going to find a way to win.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't have good advice because I wouldn't be even keel about this, because I think personally we shouldn't give them any kind of room to breathe. I think we should always keep the pressure.
Oh,
on them.
don't say that, Mike. They're going to use that against you. Don't say.
But that's the thing.
a
I'm
threat.
not saying
That's a direct threat.
I'm not saying that we should go. That's the thing. They will use whatever wordage and whatever
Exactly.
verbiage they can, but what they want anybody and everybody that they attack to do is go, okay, you know what? That was a lot of heat. I don't want that kind of heat on me. I'll just back off for now, and it'll just be chill, and I'll find a way to work around these people. But then they stay entrenched in the positions that they're in instead of being held accountable for stuff like that. And that's the thing. They need to be held to task for what they've done and what they've said. And they need to be held to task when they false flag websites and when they attack people and when they target the harassment, because guess what? It's most places, most platforms, most websites have terms of service against targeted harassment, and here these guys they're not even hiding the fact that they are calling for targeted harassment. They are telling you what they're doing. It's right there. And the thing is, they're just deleting the tweets, or they'll kick a bunch of people out of their Discord servers, hoping that will clear the air so they can get away with it. But that's the thing. I think these people need to be held to task for everything that they say, and I do think that the fact that you have your website back up is an example of it didn't work, but now they can say, well, he'll probably learn his lesson now, instead of going, you know what, no, I'm going to keep staying the course and I'm going to keep working hard on what I'm doing, because eventually if they try to do it again, eventually it's a cried wolf scenario, or they end up getting caught because they pushed it too far. Because that's the thing, they don't have any gears. They'll keep pushing because they think that they're right. A person that thinks that they're right will never stop working towards a goal that they're trying to reach, So
well, let me ask you this, Smash.
boundaries.
Thank you, Mike, for that. Smash and TDS, I know you got to roll here in a second, but before you do, Smash, I wanted to give you the floor really quick and say, if Nick was standing in front of you or Alyssa was standing in front of you right now, what would you say to them?
Honestly, I probably wouldn't say anything. Like I wouldn't confront them because it's not worth my time. Like, what am I going to get out of that? And I know that's kind of a chicken shit way out of it, but I'm like, it's just there's nothing that I can say to change their minds because they're so, like Mike was just saying, they're so entrenched in their mindset that they feel justified to cross borders and boundaries no matter what because of the end justifying the means. So me trying to talk sense into that or explaining my perspective to them, I already know is a lost cause. So at this point, it's just kind of like, let the community decide. All the facts are on the table. Let people decide what it is. I'm not going to try to change their minds, and it is what it is.
You could hand them a roll of toilet paper because they shit your pants. They shit their pants. If they met you in person, and I mean that most of these people are coward enough. If they actually ran into you in person, they would be terrified of the response. They'd be shaken and scared as shit. Because most of these people have never actually, they don't meet real people in real life. They live in echo chambers and they live perpetually online. So,
all right. Well, Smash, we appreciate you coming on. TDS, we appreciate you. We know you got to roll out. Smash, thanks so much for telling your story, and we look forward to continuing to talk with you about it than about you about it. So,
always a pleasure, man. Yeah, anytime you need me, I'm here for you. Thank you so much.
Stay strong, bro. You got this.
All right, thanks, Smash. Keep going, buddy. Keep going.
Thank you so much,
TDS,
guys.
for sure. TDS, you got to roll out. But you want to push anybody to anything that you want to promote real quick?
You can follow me on Twitter at Master of TDS. You can follow our YouTube channel. That's my alarm. You can follow my YouTube channel at Gothic Therapy. I'll probably put more videos there. And I'm not going to be as nice as Smash. I'm going to say something. If Alyssa was here, I'd say, I challenge you, Alyssa. I'm going to unblock you if you talk with me. Come on, shoot me a DM. You can follow back. I'll follow you back. We'll talk. Let's talk. Unless you're a coward and you don't want to do it, but that's okay. But I think these people are cowards, clearly. But that's just my opinion. But anyways, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Buddy.
We'll chat again soon.
Bye.
All right, buddy. Thanks for your hard work. All right. Once again, go follow TDS over there. Ooh, hello, everybody. Good to see you. There we are. Looking all sharp, Mike.
Yeah.
It's amazing, really, to kind of see the perspective on this. And I think that these conversations really showcase the tremendous divide, not just in the video game space, but like in society. The way that people perceive themselves, the way they perceive victimhood associated. We don't have victims on this channel. And that's the most fascinating thing about this. Like, bad things happen to everybody. It's how you respond to it, and I've been having this conversation with my daughters the last few days about, what happens when we fall down. You get back up, right? Smash got back up. He got back up and he fought. And that's what you do. He knew he was in the right in this situation. He created a list. Congratulations. Go to any website ever. It's like by the logic of a list being dangerous, right? Think about this.
Yeah.
Let's say, Mike, you were to put together a list of the worst PlayStation 3 games ever made, right? And someone took that list really to heart, and they're like, I really want to hunt down the people who made Warhawk or whatever, whatever game it may be. And they got upset. Like, are you endangering them because you made a list of games of a product that somebody may or may not have worked on or whatever? It's like it's a really slippery, stupid slope with this whole thing. So, anyways.
Yeah. Well, it's that towing that line between, excuse me, towing that line between, I'm making a list to inform people of a thing because we've just discovered, like, Kotaku detected, hey, these people are saying really awful stuff and you should know who these people are because they do need to be held accountable, versus I'm making a list of people I don't like because I want my audience to attack those people. Because that's the thing. A lot of times, if you look at the list that Alyssa Mercante is pushing around, or that Nick is pushing around, it has a lot of names on that list of people specifically that they don't like. Not people that they want to hold to task because they said something bad. It's people that go, I don't like this person. This person said terrible things about me. It all has to do with people that those specific internet personalities don't like or think are causing problems for them, and that's why they make those lists. And so it's like, it is like a slippery slope, but it's also like, what is the purpose behind it? And you can kind of look, and you're like listing a bunch of PlayStation games, or listing a bunch of employees that work for a company, and you go, hey, or listing a bunch of consulting firms that are working behind the scenes with video game companies. That's not you asking for people to be harmed. You're asking people to make an informed decision when they engage with their wallets, versus I'm making a list of YouTube channels that have said things about me on the internet that I don't like. And you're like, okay, what was the purpose of that? You know? So it is a slippery slope,
and then
but
sharing
also
it,
is that.
like,
yeah,
right. If you want to keep it private, that's cool, right? But if you're like, you know, like you say, here's the list of people, you know, I don't know. It's so, I don't care about any list. I really don't. You want to make a list of all the people who made a video about you. Okay, that just really shows you know, your insecurities. If you want to make a list about people who write and are damaging your hobby, okay, well then, you know, I think that's fair. But as somebody who literally made his living for a long time making lists online, it's really, really silly, this whole thing. What's not silly is Ian coming in with 10 gifted memberships. Mike, you get to pick the color today, man. What color's going on the wall? What do we got today? What do you want?
We got to pick. Let's pick red.
Ooh, red.
That's a
red
good
it
color.
is.
Mike is a Sith Lord.
Yeah,
What's that,
I
Blab?
am a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Ian,
Darth
thank you
Fro.
very much. If you guys got gifted a membership from Ian, make sure you say a thank you, as Blab says, ooh woo to you. Ooh,
Dude, Mike actually does it better than I do.
Oh well. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it
gross.
is gross.
Thank
You
you.
just
Ian.
can embrace it. It's fine.
Thank you very much. And Mercenary came in. Blab, read this off while I put Ian on the wall.
All right. Mercenary says TDS Elon is tracking already and he has military help. Thank you very much, Mercenary. T1S says money for the Brochacho bucket hat fund for Craig.
Oh, no.
My man or woman. Thank you.
My, they, them. Let's go.
Snapple Rai says, hey, Side Scrollers crew. Haven't caught a live show in a while, but just wanted to drop by and show some support. And hope to see you at the Dallas meetup, Craig. Well, thank you, Snapple Rai.
I'll see you there, Snapple Rai. Thank you so much for your support. It's genuinely appreciated today as we trying some new stuff. Shane came in with a 5 over on Rumble, says, I wanted to shame you, Craig. You forgot to let Blab sing for my donation from yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry.
I think Craig should sing today for making up for it.
I'm hurt, and my trust in Side Scrollers is broken. With that said, I'm going to buy your daughter's shirt. # you had one job. Shane, I'm sorry. With that said, Shane did come in and pick up my daughter's t-shirt. Go pick it up right now. The Let Us Skateboard t-shirt available right now in the link in the description. Andrew also picked up Blabs's karaoke bucket hat. Link is in the description.
Yeah.
Said just a normal man. Hi, Blab. Look at that.
They're embroidered, by the way, guys.
They are embroidered. They're high quality stuff. John says you need to show TDS blue eyes on blue eyes on blue eyes. Well,
if he goes and looks at Twitter, he'll find it.
Yes. A Rebound came in with a 5, says YouTube censors being a Karen. So Streamlabs it is. Thanks, Rebound. That KFC AI song is almost as funny as the obscurest vinyl song, I Glued My Balls to My Butthole Again. Okay. Thanks, Rebound. Appreciate that. Speaking of wonderful songs, this is a great parlay into our next guest today. Daniel from I Am the Icarus has joined us. Hello, Daniel. How are you?
Hi.
Hello, I'm good.
Good to see you. Have you ever written a song about gluing your balls to your butthole?
No, but it's
Okay.
on the list of things to get to.
Yeah, we'll definitely make
It's
sure
one of
that
those milestones as a musician you want to try to reach.
Yeah. I try to write music that'll reach as many people as possible. So there are those people.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know what's interesting about your music and the reach of your music is the book that you've written is pretty much the exact opposite. It's extremely obscure. It's a book about wizards, and the book is called Wizards and Warriors and Me, My Life with Video Games. So I think the title is pretty self-explanatory. But how about you fill everybody in on what's going on with this book and why we're talking about it?
Yeah, sure. So basically at the beginning of the year, I had this idea that I wanted to start like a zine, like a little punk rock kind of like self-made magazine. And I was going to talk about all kinds of things, music, video games, movies, whatever, just kind of shit I talk about on Twitter. and I started writing an article about Wizards and Warriors. And as I was writing the article, I was like, I think I could turn this into a book, because I had so much I wanted to say, like, that wouldn't fit in just an article. And I'm 42 years old, and I have a daughter, and I was writing about my dad, and I started realizing, like, oh my God, like, I'm like my dad. Like, so that's how it kind of turned into, like, it's about Wizards and Warriors, but it's also my life, with video games. And Wizards and Warriors just happens to be like one of my favorite games. And it's a game that doesn't get talked about a lot anymore. And
no, it does not.
Yeah. And in a world of video games where, like, we have remasters and re-releases and all this kind of stuff, like, it hasn't had one. There's no, like, collection. Like, the only way you can play it is on a ROM or actual hardware. So I kind of hope, if the book actually, was successful, maybe, the companies that own the rights, it's two different companies, which complicates it, but that maybe we could get a remaster or something, or a re-release of like a collection of the games would be cool.
This was a Rare game. Am I correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Rare did this game way back in the day, and the premise of this is pretty simple. You're a knight and you go around. This is Kratos, right? Isn't this the name?
Yeah.
His name is Kratos, right? Yeah. This is the first Kratos back in the day, and so Kratos goes around and he's destroying stuff, and it's a pretty fun little platformer. I never really got super far in it, but they made 3 of them back in the days. But
and a Game Boy game.
And a Game Boy game. But
and an LCD handheld too.
So it was a big deal. I mean, I think you get an LCD handheld, that's a pretty big deal. This is definitely one of those games that's lost to history for sure. Mike, did you ever play this game?
I never played this game, no.
Have you ever heard of this game?
I have heard of this game before. It looks rad too. Like, I miss games like this.
It's great. It's like, I always describe it now in the modern days, like, this was like my first Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Although it's the exact opposite in the sense that it's super easy, because you have unlimited continues, and so you can just keep trying over and over and over again until you beat it.
Nice.
So it was hard.
So you started writing about Wizards and Warriors, and then it kind of turned into a story about being a dad and being, raising kids, and like just I don't know. Give me the full rundown. Like, how did you get from Wizards and Warriors to a book that is I don't know. I'm just looking at this really quick. A book that is over 200 pages long. Right? How did that happen?
Well, to be fair, almost half of it is the player's guide in the back. Of the book. But it's so basically, like, I go through the history of the game. Like, I talk about Rare, as a company, because they started out originally as a different company that was making ZX Spectrum games. And then I kind of go through just the history of the games, but in between talking about the games, I kind of talk about just like my life with video games in general, like how, they kind of helped me get through a lot of stuff in my life. And like everybody, I think that's a gamer, like, it's escapism and stuff. So it's like, these games have been with us, in this case, almost 40 years. And I can track through my life all the different times, I was playing this game. I played it when I was a little kid. I pulled it out again and played it when I was a teenager. I pulled it out and played it again when I was an adult. I replayed it 1,000 times when I was writing the book, so like, it's been with me my whole life, like since 1988 or whenever I got it. So, I can talk about games and like just, how they've affected my life as time has gone on. And, also because we're, in this period right now, like guys were talking about earlier, where it's like everything is so divisive. Like, it's kind of a bummer because, this hobby has been something that's gotten me through all kinds of hardships in my life, and it's always been with me. And video games never used to be divisive. It used to be just we all just played games and got along. And I wanted to remind people what video games could be. So I talk about a lot of other games in there too. And video games used to just be fun, and that's another aspect of the book. It's just talking about what video games used to be.
So it's a story about, it's more than just Wizards and Warriors is what you're saying. This is do you at any point in the story go into Fabio and his direct impact on?
Yeah, I do talk about that. I call it one of the most '90s moments you could do is that they decided to throw Fabio on the cover of the second game, which was perplexing. Rad. And it was weird because like as a kid, like, you know, I can't remember exactly how old I was, maybe 12, something like that, 11 when the second one came out. I remember seeing it like in a video rental place. I didn't even know it was a Wizards and Warriors sequel because it's called Iron Sword.
Right.
Real big, and then Wizards and Warriors below it. And I just saw Fabio and I was like, ugh. Like,
Dude,
like it didn't look like something I wanted to check out. You know, it looks like my mom's romance novel or something. So it was an odd choice, I think.
For sure. So you got started talking about Wizards and Warriors. You ended up talking about more games, more life, and you have the entire game guide in the back of it, which is really funny.
Yeah, and that was something else that like that's kind of a shout out to this guy Peter Olofsson who wrote he wrote a player's guide for Final Fantasy 3, well 6, technically 6, but 3 for us in the United States when it came out. And that player's guide was actually something that I read a lot when I was a kid. I read it for fun.
Like full maps and stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And I read that Final Fantasy 3 player's guide for fun when I was a kid. So I always kind of wanted to write a player's guide. So I was like, you know, I'll do Wizards and Warriors. I'm pretty good at it. So
love it. So you wrote the entire player's guide.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Okay. So he didn't just like lift it off the internet. That's
no. I wrote it.
Wow.
So cool.
I had to go on the internet to find out like there's some secrets and stuff, you know. There was actually some things I didn't know about, but you'll have to get the book and you'll see there's some cool things in there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just kind of taking a glance at some of the things in here. You know, you talk about, you know, a bit of warning if you continue reading. I'm on page 112. It says if you want to end the book with a comfortable, happy ending, feeling, just stop reading now because I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to get into and it's going to get slightly political. It's not my fault. And you dig into kind of some of the things that we talk about on the show on a day-to-day basis, just kind of the breakdown of the industry as a whole. And you know, you talk about GDC and how there's 20 talks about DEI and all this stuff that, you know, popping in. And so yeah, I mean, it's definitely more than just Wizards and Warriors.
Yeah,
so.
I ripped the industry a new asshole in the last chapter because I you know, again, like I said, as I was writing it, I didn't expect to do that. I didn't want it. Like I'm writing a book about Wizards and Warriors and my life and everything, but I didn't want it to get political. But you know, as I'm writing this book, all this shit's going on in the background in real life, like what's happening in the video game industry, and it's like, you know, I'm somebody that like that's what I love about the normal men thing. Like I am the prototypical normal dude, normal man. Like I'm just a dude. I'm in a band. I like video games. I can give two shits about politics. I'm just a dude. And I didn't care until they started coming after my hobby. And it's like, you know, what is going on? And I said it in the book too. I said, if this was the political right, I would go after them. It's just not. It's the left. So that's who I went after. But it's like, you know, and you can't say things like that anymore because people will call me a Nazi and a bigot and yada, 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 even though like I'm literally, if you want to get down to it, like I'm kind of an anarchist. Like I don't even vote. You know what I mean? So it's like,
what's funny is you go back and you look at people that were critical, you know, like in the early 90s, that was like the religious right. And everyone's like, you know, and it's almost flipped over time. And you know what? We were critical back then when we would have been critical of the exact same people then. And now it's just like, hey, get away from our hobbies, friends. You know, like just, how about you just take a step back and relax? So, but yeah, I mean, and you're right. That's normal men. That's 100% why. And, you know, your description of like, you know, how you started writing this book almost lines up exactly with side scrollers as well. Like when we started, I had no intention of digging into any of this stuff. I wanted it to be a daily oasis from all this stuff, but it was too much. It's just ongoing all the time, constantly. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I mean, I can definitely relate to starting a story and the story changing as it goes along. So, all right. So where can everybody pick up the book? Can they pick it up on Amazon, or is there a specific website where they can pick up Wizards and Warriors and me and my life with video games? Where can they get it?
They can get it on Amazon. It's on Amazon.com right now. Because I'd never done a book before. This is my first book. I didn't know how to do it, but I was able to figure it out and get it on Amazon. So you can go pick it up there.
Love it. All right, man. Well, I love it. Thank you so much for your support. I'm glad we were able to, you're obviously a normal man, a part of the community, and we wanted to, wanted to give you the opportunity to kind of talk and pimp out your book. So please, everyone go pick it up. I'm positive it is the only Wizards and Warriors book on Amazon right now. So
yeah, it is. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's, I'm just some guy, so it's like this will help get the word out for the book, and I really do appreciate it. And if you guys do like video games, I stream over on the I Am the Icarus band YouTube channel, so I'm playing video games over there if you want to go.
I already subbed
check
to
it
you,
out.
so yeah.
Love it.
Awesome, thanks.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks, Daniel. Appreciate you, my man, and good luck with the book.
All right, thank you.
Cool,
I'll see you in the chat.
All right, that sounds good.
Bye.
All right. Big ups to Daniel right there for joining us, and I love, we talked about if you got a goal, go get it. He went and got it, and he has a book now, and we've talked about it many times. If you got a goal, man, just go get it. I love it, and like what Mike is doing with Epic Universe. Mike, you guys released your first trailer.
Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble with Epic.
I'm sorry,
Universe.
what did I say?
Epic Universe. That's Orlando.
We don't want to get in trouble with those guys.
With EpicVerse. Sorry, my fault.
No,
I was just so you know, I was literally looking at the logo behind you when I said Epic Universe. That's how good of a reader man I am. So with EpicVerse. But you guys just released your first trailer.
Second trailer. Yeah.
Second. Well, first trailer for this product.
First trailer for this project. Yes.
Yep. And how is that? You're dealing with Beardo. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, when he's in character, it's a little bit better. You just kind of let him do his thing. Yeah, that was that project was actually pretty fun. It was a lot of work, all outside, and when you're against the elements, it's not fun. But Beardo was a champ. Beardo and Jake were champs. They worked really hard on what they did. I think they did a pretty damn good job coming in with no real experience, no real floor for acting or any of this stuff, and we just kind of like threw them into the deep end and said, hey, this is what we want to do, this is the project, and they were game to try it, and they were troopers to try anything that we threw at them, and we threw a lot of stuff at them, man. It was, those costumes, as warm as they look, they're not that warm, and it was pretty cold most of the time that we shot, but yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, and that's one. Now we have 2 trailers out. That's 2 of 4 more projects we have to release. 2 of 6 projects altogether that we're working on behind the scenes. So that way we have our front-loaded stuff. As I've said before on other places, the point of this was me and Josiah really wanted to give you guys something to look forward to and to sink your teeth into before we start asking for resources, before we start like promoting the company as an actual independent production studio. We wanted to just say, hey, we put our money where our mouth is. We figured out how to do it. We want, if you guys are enjoying this, if you guys like where we're at right now, the ceiling only gets higher as you guys help us, and the ceiling only gets higher as you guys support us. But we wanted to at least show you where the floor was, where you guys could start at, and we wanted to show you what we could do on a budget, because we're not spending a lot of money on these films. We don't have a lot of money to spend on them, and that's the thing. Like I tell people this a lot, and the Last Guy was a perfect example. This is the best time to go out and create stuff. There are so many resources that are cheap and available to you guys. If you want to write a book, go write a book. If you want to write a comic book and you're passionate about it and serious about it, go out and do it. If you want to make a movie, you can use your camera. You don't have to do what we did. You don't have to get professional, equipment and professional lighting and all that stuff to do it. Just go film something on your phone to get started, just to get the word out, just to get your name out there. So, because the thing is, like, that the phrase luck favors the prepared, like, people in the industry that get lucky are people that already put in a lot of work in the back end. And Craig can attest to that. If you're not working at this stuff, you can't just come in cold and go, yep, I'll figure it out. It's the same with like being a streamer or anybody on a personality on the internet. There is almost nobody on this planet that can just turn on a camera and be excellent at what they do immediately. You put in a lot of work and time and effort to learn how to talk to people and learn how the flow of conversation goes, learn how to interact with your audience, finding the right producers, stuff like that. It all takes a lot of work. And you have to put in that work, because if the time comes and you hear the call go out and you go, oh, now's my time, and I don't have anything to offer anybody. Oh no, what do I do now? It's too late. That train will go right by you and you will completely miss it. But if you've said, hey, I've been working on stuff, I have examples of my work, I have examples of my writing, of examples of my drawings or paintings or anything, and you run into a guy and they go, hey, you meet a guy in an elevator and you go, hey, what's going on? And you talk to this guy and you tell him you're an artist or whatever. And they go, well, I own a company and I need an artist. What do you have? But what's not going to happen is if you go, I don't have anything, sorry, they'll go, so you're not really an artist. You're just a guy that wants to do art one day.
Right. Well, I'll say this, you talk about being prepared, like Blabs, when does the next show start? Pretty much as soon as this, as soon as one show ends,
I was like,
Blabs is so confused.
Yeah, I was like, noon Eastern, bro.
No, the next show starts pretty much as soon as.
Oh yeah, I've already been working on tomorrow's document.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we appreciate y'all's support today. We are going to get into Today in Gaming History in just a second, because we do need to talk about that. Like I said, today's been kind of an experimental show to kind of see how things go with lots of different guests popping in and out, and it's been fun. So, and we appreciate Mike hanging out with us. You've been sitting down for a couple hours now between G&G Daily and now here. So
yeah, I'm gonna get up and go mow my lawn to stretch my legs, and then you know what I get to go do? Sit down in front of a computer and stream again. So
let's go.
Yeah.
Well, if at any point you feel like you need to roll out, you just say the word, okay, Mike?
Oh no, you guys are good. I love hanging out with you guys. You guys are awesome, even though Blabs never talks.
What?
She chimes in when she does.
Yeah, I know she's working hard behind the scenes. She always is. So
that's right. Speaking of, Ian came in and picked up the Blabs, the karaoke bucket hat. Look at Ian. Oh, Ian. D-Dub came in. DW Brown says people like Alyssa and Nick are afraid of the list of Smash GT because of projection. Because when they make list, they do want to harass others. Thanks, DW. Appreciate that. Super Bear came in with a 5. Says we're just normal men being beautiful, big, sweaty men. All right, Super Bear. Thank you very much.
I don't like that. Yeah.
At no point did we actually talk about being big, sweaty men. But by all means, Super Bear, you go crazy. And thank you very much. We are just normal men. The Orange Man says, Would you
rather fight a dragon or escape from the something
tentacle pit?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Would you rather fight a dragon or escape from a tentacle pit? Gotcha.
What a weird thing to write in one word.
Yeah, dragon. I'd much rather fight a dragon. Yes.
There's no hentai here.
Master Gawa says accountability is why they hated Gamergate 1. Game journalism had a purpose before the net. Now that job needs to go away forever. # in-game journalism. Well, I think we're closing in on the end game here, Master Gawa. I do think there will be a time very soon where I'm not saying in the next year, but in the next couple of years where all these outlets go bye-bye. There's no longer a need for them. Mercenary says, I cared before they came after video games. I saw. Thank you, Mercenary.
Mercenary was there, bro.
Right. And Weird Man Productions came in and says, this is awesome. I tweeted about wanting a remaster of Wizards and Warriors last week. Iron Sword was the best of the lot. Just ordered the book. Look at that.
Awesome.
That's great.
The link for the Amazon purchase is in the description below, guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
Aiden came in and says with the 2 says tonight I'll be attending the Dallas Stars watching party. I'll be taking my brother with me while I'm wearing my gear, including my Dallas Stars medallion. I'll post pics on the Discord and Instagram. That's awesome. There you go. Thanks, Aiden. Appreciate your support, man, of the channel and of the Stars. Neon Wolf came in with a 5 over on Rumble. Says, I think Mercante's X account has now been suspended as just went to look and it comes back suspended. I can confirm it has not been suspended. Abomination came in with the 2. Says, the excrement from a chicken's bowels is more honorable than these infected pustules on the backside of mindless rodents masquerading as SJWs. Thank you, Abomination. Appreciate your very vivid description and account of this. All right, Blabs, give us Today in Gaming History 80 minutes into the show.
Okay, so real quick, apparently there's a mistake with the Superman cover, but I did confirm it with gaming history, so they might be wrong. But Superman, the new Superman Adventures was released back in 1999. Now, apparently the cover might be wrong. I'm sorry. Mario Kart 8 is 10 years old today. So if you want to feel old, now this may be from Japan, so then it might just be 10 years old tomorrow, but either way, it was released. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection is also 60 years old today, releasing back in 2018. So there's your geriatric moment in time, brought to you by Side Scrollers and KFC.
Wow. You know what's funny about Mario Kart 8? Let's see. Total sales. I'm curious about the total sales of Mario Kart 8. Yes, over 50 million games sold of Mario Kart 8, which is just silly. 52. That was back in 2022, and this game consistently is in the top 10 games sold for the Switch today. And that game has gone from the Wii U to the Switch, and it's still a banger, man. It's great.
That's
it's awesome. Love it.
I actually didn't have Mario Kart for the Wii U.
Well, now you have it.
I had it for the original Wii and then the Switch. I never played on the Wii U.
It's spectacular.
Were those numbers counting it sales on the Wii U and the Switch, or just the Switch?
Well, I don't know, but I know that this article is from February 2024 here from Nintendo Life. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe zooms past 60 million in sales. So it's at 60, and this game was a decade ago. Holy moly.
It's up. It's ahead of Red Dead Redemption in game sales.
Man, it's awesome. It's the best. It's
the
best.
It makes me miserable. Every week I have to play it, and it makes me very sad and reminds me of, it ups my blood pressure. But I'm glad you guys enjoy it.
It's also which lowers my blood pressure is Jimmy Ray coming in with 10 gifted memberships. Jimmy Ray, thank you Jimmy Ray. Thank you very much for those 10 gifted memberships. If you guys got gifted a membership, make sure you say a thank you and consider paying it forward. Johnny the Butcher also came in as a member. I thought Johnny was already a member, but hey, Johnny's back at it again. Thank you very much, Johnny. Appreciate your monthly support. I'm going to get Jimmy up on the wall. All right. Well, listen, we have we only got a few minutes left, but I do think it's important that that it is time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment, Epic Mike. It's time for hard news. Hard news. All right, here we are. We have some quick hits today in the hard news space. We were going to talk. We'll hold off on the $500 skin for another time. Maybe tomorrow, Blabs. But I thought this is just absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, I was like, really?
What's that?
What you want to pull up right now?
Yeah. This is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
What, you don't want to talk about this?
No, I do. I'm just like, what? Pull it up.
Hey, Mike, do you remember Ocean Gate? Do you remember what that was? The
Titan.
Yes, the implosion that happened as the little, I don't know, whatever that was, like a little submarine went down and then it just like got obliterated. Well, there's another billionaire who's like, nope, I'm going to do it. And he's spending $20 million to prove that it's okay to go down to the Titanic wreckage. And look at this billionaire guy. He's got his American.
He looks like a discount maverick.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what. You know what's not discounted is the way those people were literally turned to vapor. To vapor. I don't know if you've seen this going around, but the recreation of the Ocean Gate Titan just totally being destroyed. Have you seen this video, Mike?
I have seen this. It's
boy,
brutal.
Okay. Yeah. So as it goes down, let me just we'll get to the good part here. Everyone's down.
I can't imagine just sitting there. Awful.
Well,
awful.
So yes, and you're just kind of staring at everybody, and then there's a break point, and because the pressure happens, it comes in immediately. This is in 20 milliseconds. 20 milliseconds. This happens. 150 milliseconds. Brain pain response to go, oh, that hurts. And then this is the real time. This is what happens in real time. It's gone. That was in real time. But this
They
is
don't
it
even register what's happening.
Nope.
and here it is in slow-mo. Boof getting destroyed, and you see the blood getting all decimated. And here it is from the inside. This is just
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah.
I've
So
not seen this.
The crack happens, and watch this, Blabs. Immediately, the skin starts flying off this guy's face, and he gets turned into mist quickly as it implodes on itself. Here's another take of it, of just the bodies.
Yep. They basically were turned into jelly. There was nothing left of their anything. There's no body parts. There's no bone. Nothing. It's like a fine jelly mist in the ocean now. It's just gone. Yep.
So give it up for this guy who wants to do it again.
Listen,
I gotta be honest.
No thanks.
Probably wouldn't be on board with that.
Like, why do you want to go down there? There are people who died. And you were like, let me go add to the body count.
That is the most, and I don't mean to make this racial, but that's the most rich white people shit I've ever seen. Okay? It's like, you know what? You go like, oh, I'm going to buy a mansion. Oh, cool. You know, I'm going to go buy a sports car. I'm going to go buy a yacht. Or you know what I want to do? I want to go get into a tube, and I want to go super deep into the ocean and look at a boat that sunk 100 years ago. After the last guy that did it died.
Right.
They can't even see with their own eyes because there's no windows. They have to use a computer to see it. So it's like, why do you have to go down there to see it? Just stay above where there's air.
Didn't James Cameron's sub have a window?
Yeah, but that's James Cameron's, like, and that was I think this is a different type of machinery, right? Because these are these considered like what are they? Subs? Is that what they're actually called?
I don't know what kind of things
they're going down. I think they're different.
The Ocean Gate one was terrible. It was like basically held together with like
joysticks,
bubble gum
and rubber bands,
bubble gum and paper clips. So it was destined to do that at some point. And also he was kind of testing it because he was like, I've been down. I think it was like 3 or 4 times already, and he'd never like checked the integrity of the tube. It's like,
okay, they're saying it's a submersible.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Something that goes underwater and you'll probably die in. Congratulations, you have a tin can.
That's why I'm just like, why would you do this? Do you really want to find out?
They don't have anything else
money.
to do.
You know what you could do with that $20 million? Give it to me instead. I will do something a lot better with it than what you will. I'm just
no, Blabs. He'd rather just die in a tube. It's cool. You know?
Well, think about it. You're actually sitting down in those little machines. You're not even comfortably in a chair or standing. Nah, you're like no windows, no nothing. Ugh. No thanks.
I do have to say something here.
Yes.
Okay? I'm known for conspiracies. I sometimes like to dig into this. I saw a conspiracy that actually made me raise my eyebrow a little bit.
Ooh.
According to one person, they think the conspiracy is that this is a ploy by these billionaires because they've been body swapping into younger bodies. And to dispose of their older bodies so that there's less issue, they put their old bodies into these tubes and send them down and let it just implode.
Like a face-off?
Larger question here. Larger question. Why do you need to be so public about it then? If you had why don't you just, if you're so rich and you're a billionaire, why don't you body swap into your younger body and then take your old body and just toss it into the ocean? No one's ever going to find it.
Because they don't want people to know that that's what they're doing. So they have to go, oh no, this poor billionaire died in a sub accident and now his son or somebody has inherited all his wealth. Now it's all his to have.
Yeah, okay. Weird. No, why don't they just go and buy an island somewhere and no one knows about it? Like, I don't know.
You want to know something about that? And this is actually another thing. I just recently learned this from a good friend of mine who has friends that are very wealthy. Billionaires do have exclusive islands that they go to, so they don't have to be on the same island as millionaires.
Oh, well, that's good.
They have like a special exclusive resorts where you can only get in if you're a billionaire, because millionaires, they're too excited about the vacations and the resort stuff, and so they mess up the billionaire vacation. So they have exclusive islands that they go to do their own like vacation stuff, so they can stay away from the riffraff and the new money. Yeah,
the new money. Yes.
Yeah, the new money. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. You know what would be really interesting? Just to shadow a billionaire for a day and be like, so what do you do? What's your day like? And just What,
You know,
what
it's
do they
funny.
do?
It's funny you mention that, Blabs, because I worked for a billionaire, a multi-billionaire for a year, and I asked him that exact question. I said, "What does your day look like?" And the secret of wealth, monetary wealth, because I think there's a lot of rich people who don't have any money, right? To be very clear, I think there's a lot of wealthy people who live very fulfilled, happy lives, and they don't have a cent. But the secret to monetary wealth is, in his case, was he would go in and he would buy companies. He would hire people to flip those companies. And pretty much his job was he was more or less a very exceptional talent scout. He would find people who would do the work for him. Now he would be guidance for this, but this guy had 8, 9, 10 companies, and these are multi-million-dollar companies that are happening in real time. So he'd spend, I don't know, 30 minutes a day working with each company. But for the most part, he had a pretty chill life. It wasn't like nonstop, blah, 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 because he was really smart with the people that he hired. And guess what? Those people got rich too, because he hired them and they got piece of the pie. And so, yeah, man, that was the secret with his situation. He actually lived a pretty chill life, but now he lived a very nice life because he had very nice houses and planes and all sorts of stuff. But he was smart with how he hired people. And it always comes back to people. Always.
Yep.
All right. I want to go to this one last story. We do have Mike here today, and it's very important to ask your thoughts on this. But before we do, Johnny came in with 5 gifted memberships. Johnny, thank you very much for that gifted. Let's go, Johnny. You're butchering everybody. I love that. If you guys got a gifted membership today, make sure you say thanks. Consider paying it forward. Puts us over 25 today. That hit our goal. Love that. Jeff came in and says, Blabs is on a year-long campaign to make me feel old as hell. Thanks, Jeff.
Welcome.
You're welcome. Super Bear came back, says, it's got to be the most expensive / dangerous I'm built different moment. They are not normal men. No. Mercenary says, more like they're faking their deaths. No witnesses. That's right. Thanks, Mercenary. And Josh came in and says, a Brit, 2 Pakistanis, and a Frenchman enter a sub.
And none leave.
That's right. And Ian Pod came in with the 10, says, hail normal men. I agree. It is the best time to be an original creator. Been a musician all my life, and now I'm 50,000 words deep into my first draft of a dark fantasy novel. If you want something done well, you do it yourself. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate that. All right. Listen, I don't know if you saw this. We had the, do you remember, I don't know, a year or so ago, we interviewed this guy, DSP. Do you remember that, Mike?
I do.
Yeah. So we interviewed this guy, DSP, and we had Keemstar on the show, and he was trying to get DSP involved in this thing he was trying to get started called the Lolcow podcast. And this show is designed to be a train wreck from the start. And he got Boogie involved and Wings of Redemption involved. And now Keemstar is like the third host of the show. And all he does is he does exactly what he does. Keemstar like farms drama, right? That's kind of what he does. This may be I just want to play a clip from this. This says 3.7 million views over on X. Have you seen this yet, Mike?
It's the clip you're thinking about.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I'm just going to play this clip here. And you tell me if Boogie has done anything wrong here.
Oh my God. Boogie said a word that began with N, and it kind of sounded like Negro, but it's not. That means he said it. They're fucking insane.
What the fuck
Look
did
at
you just
look
say?
at him in chat. Look at him.
Negro,
look at him in chat.
Negro. You can say Negro.
Hey! No, you
Like,
can't.
All right, Mike, you're the black guy on the show. This is the first time for me. This is the first time I've heard this, and this is coming from a white guy of all things.
Yeah.
Mike, am I canceled for saying the word Negro?
Listen, it ain't me you got to worry about. You got to worry about YouTube and all these other places and how they respond to it. Here's the thing. It's America. You have free speech. You could say whatever you want. Okay? It's just that you may not be free of consequences. I would challenge anyone that wants to use that word. Boogie, why don't you go find maybe you don't have any black friends, go find a friend of a friend and go up to them and go, "What's up, my Negro?" and see what happens. Like,
Okay. What then? There's a movie that came out called The American Society of Magical Negroes. Am I not allowed to say that?
Like I said, you could say whatever you want.
Well,
we don't really.
A bigger question: when did that word become taboo? When did that become the N word?
It's just an outdated word. It's not the N word. It's just one of those outdated words that people don't use anymore because, like,
Hollywood does.
Well, I would say this: black filmmakers do because they thought it was provocative, and that's the thing when they in the pursuit of being provocateurs, because they thought, well, white people won't be able to say the name of this movie, because I guarantee you that's what they were thinking. They didn't realize that they just kind of furthered that issue being a thing. If you make a movie, I know there was the 1993 space movie, but we don't talk about that movie. There's any movie modern day that had the N-word in it. Like, it's just going to make people go out and say the name of the movie because they're like, well, how am I going to get in trouble for it? It's the name of a film. So that's the thing here. As far as Boogie using it, like, is he ignorant? Yeah, but also he's kind of being willfully ignorant. If like Keemstar's like, hey, you can't say that word, then instead of Boogie being like, okay, what's the issue with that word? Let's talk about why people don't say that anymore. Because there's like, what is it on the census? Last year, there was one guy in the entire United States that still identified as a Negro, because we just don't use that term anymore. Like, he didn't have that conversation. He just tripled down and just said, well, let me just keep screaming the word over and over and over again. There's other terms that we use for different people, different races. I'm not going to say them because I don't know which ones are going to get you guys in trouble or not. But like, there are different terms that people just don't use for different people. There used to be terms that we use for Irish people, like that we just don't use anymore. So I don't know, man. It's one of those things. Like, do I think he should be canceled for it? No, I don't think anybody should be canceled for anything. But do I think that Boogie's dumb, and do I think he's probably going to get some backlash for this? Yes. And do I think Boogie's going to handle it well? I don't think Boogie handles anything well at this point in his life. I think he's just out here trying to do whatever he can to stay relevant as the black hole of irrelevancy slowly consumes him. There's a lot to consume there, so it's going to take a while. Yeah.
So if somebody was to so the way that I'm hearing you, like, when did that word, you said it's an outdated word, right?
Yeah.
At what time, when did that word become outdated? 1987, 1964, 2004, 2020?
Probably, I would say, people really stopped using Negro as a term for black people in like the 50s.
Right. Okay. Well, let me ask you this then.
60s.
And I agree.
Yeah.
So are you allowed to say black?
Yeah.
Why not people of color?
Well, you can, but it's weird. That's the thing. Like, all the terms, after a while, you just go like, okay, for the most part, there's a conversation about black culture. The conversation is like black people, white people, whatever. Like, but when we talk about those, because I actually have a conversation with a buddy of mine who doesn't live in the United States, and he goes, "What's up with the black and white thing?" Because like in the UK, it's just you're English, or if you happen to be a black Scotsman, you're Scottish or whatever. As rare as that may be. But I was like, over here, it's not about the race; it's actually about the culture more than anything. Like, because you also have people like Eminem, who kind of grew up in like a shitty neighborhood in Detroit. And arguably, Eminem probably could say the N-word, not getting a lot of trouble for it, because of the cultural impact that he has and where he exists in the zeitgeist of American culture. But like, if you got Boogie over here screaming the N-word or screaming Negroes at people, he's probably not going to get as much grace for that as anybody else would, because it's fucking Boogie.
He's white?
Well, yeah, and also because it's fucking Boogie, and I just don't think he has that much street cred in the first place. It's a cultural thing more than anything, and it's a weird conversation, because I've had people ask me that before. They go, "Well, why can't I use that word?" And I'm like, "You can use whatever words in the English language you want, but here's the thing: like, walk up to a random person in the street and make fun of their mom to their face, and there will be a social consequence for that. Some people may be like, yo, whatever, and walk away. Some people may punch you in the mouth. And that's not a violation of your free speech to get social backlash for using language. Free speech is to protect the government from preventing you from using language. That's important because the government shouldn't be able to police people's language. But society in the shame aspect that we've talked about that's the part of it that, so when a word stops being acceptable to use, that's when shame is used as a tool to stop people from using it. But if you notice, certain words don't ever really go away. Like the N-word, like I should say the with a G, with an A at the end of it, not the hard R word.
Well, now we have two, though, is what you're saying, though. We have two.
Well, I don't think we have two because I don't think that's the thing. I don't really know anybody that walks around using the word Negro for anything.
Right.
You know, except unless you're trying to be a provocative asshole with a shitty movie.
I was going to say the only time I've heard that word in the last, well, really my entire life was the title of that movie. Right.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Right.
And it's this thing. It's just like, it's an outdated word that when you bring it up, you go, okay, if you're using that word, it doesn't feel like you're using that word because you feel like it should be used in a certain context. Because there's people that use words ignorantly in context. You go, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Or I didn't know that was offensive or whatever the thing is, you know. But like Boogie, there ain't no way Boogie doesn't know. Boogie's been on the internet too perpetually long for him to not know what that word means and what that might be offensive to somebody, or even that it might violate terms of service on YouTube or something. That's why, because I think that's why Keemstar was saying it. I don't think it was a societal thing. I think it was more like, yo, we can get in trouble for using that. Stop saying that fucking word, you know? So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I do you think that was the idea behind what he was saying?
I think Boogie wants to, it's hard to say because I want to say I would give him the benefit of the doubt, but I don't really think Boogie. Wow, I don't think Boogie really deserves the benefit of the doubt with everything that he's had going on recently in his life and all the stuff that has come out about him as a person recently. Do I feel like he was probably trying to be provocative and kind of trying to be like edgy? I think that was more what he was trying to go for. And I think that he knew that continuing to act like that and say that word and throw that out there like it wasn't a big deal was probably going to go viral. So mission accomplished, you know? Yeah.
I do think that is also kind of the part of Keemstar, you know, who, you know.
Yeah.
Hey! Right. Oh my God. Right.
When he gets up and walks away at one point. Yeah.
No, my favorite thing was him talking to Wings, and he was like, "Shut up, Wings!" And he's like, "That's Boogie, I'm Wings," and everything. And he's like, "No, shut up, Wings, so I can talk to Boogie." And he's like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh my God, brain cells lost."
Well, the show has done its job. The LolCal podcast. So good on them. And good on Keem for doing whatever he can to keep himself relevant. Good for him. Hey, give it up for speaking of relevance. Give it up for Mercenary for picking up that hat. Look at that. Look at that right there. Love that. All right. Look, we
got one more to share. This one too from Shane Bentley. Picked this one up yesterday.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah, shout out, guys. Tag us with the merch, guys. Side Scrollers Pod. Thanks.
Yes. We'd love to let everybody know the wonderful merch you got. Once again, pick it up right now. You only have a couple days to pick it up. We have two new shirts, in addition to our regular lineup of merchandise, you know, traditional side scroller stuff. Go pick it up right now. You can pick up the karaoke shirt and bucket hat, as well as the Let Us Skateboard shirt that my daughter made.
Skateboard shirt slaps, like legit.
I agree. That's why I was like, I gotta put it on a shirt because it's an amazing design. Yeah. She came home and I was like, t-shirt. Yes, awesome.
Yeah.
So. All right, Mike, you wanna fill everybody in on anything you got going on that you want to promote right now?
Yeah. I mean, you know, the two main things right now, keep your eye on EpicVerse. We obviously just dropped a trailer for Blood and Water, which is a Viking short film that I wrote and produced and Josiah directed, with Jake the Viking and Fear the Bureau in it. It's a good time. Keep your eyes out on the website. The website you are currently looking at when you go there, that is a placeholder website until the real website is ready. When that website is ready, when that website launches officially, it will have all of our new content on there. and we'll announce how we're going to do that and how everything's going to be sorted and monetized and all of that jazz. We will give you guys a ton of heads up and let you know how that's all going to go down. And then as for me personally, I've been cruising over on YouTube and Kick. We've just been doing streams over there probably just about every day. Whenever I can, whenever I have time to, I'm streaming. Tonight, I'll be streaming more of Metal Gear Solid. I just beat Psycho Mantis. We just got to Sniper Wolf, and I had to go back and get the stupid sniper rifle. I was very upset about that. But I've gone back and gotten it, and now we're about to fight our next boss. So, yeah, we're having a good time over there.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff, Mike. Always a pleasure to have you on, buddy.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course. Make sure you guys go check out EpicVerse and everything they have going on over there. With that said, appreciate everybody's support today. Abomination is going to finish us up with a $2 Rumble.
We got 2
reward.
on YouTube.
Oh, we'll get to those in just a second. Abomination says tinfoil hat theory. Is that billionaire is that billionaire one of the ones who took out a sizable portion of liquefied assets, pretending to go into a risky sub? Then the official record is oopsie doopsie. Thanks, Abomination. Appreciate that. There's I like the tinfoil hat nature of it. Question everything. And Cream NATO says, what did I just walk into?
Hi, Cream. It was all the whole Boogie questions.
And Super Bear says, Boogie should be more careful about what he says as a famous YouTuber. His words carry a ton of weight, much like the rest of them.
Damn, really
It's true, though.
Orthodox Monk says, remember when Keemstar said the hard R live on a stream a few times? It's weird that he's the one telling Boogie not to say Negro. Can I say it, Mike? Am I allowed to say it?
Listen, I don't have a card for that one. I have a card for the other word.
Okay.
Just say it, Patilla.
There you go.
Patilla O.
There you go. Appreciate that, Orthodox Monks. There you go. All right. Let us roll out. Do we have any memes today?
No, sadly.
No memes.
We're unmemeable today.
That's right.
Memeable.
I appreciate y'all rolling with the punches today as we gave something new a try today with our kind of blocked up stuff. It was great. With that said, appreciate you guys popping in, allowing us to be us and you hanging out with us. I'll be live over on the Side Scrollers Plays channel in a little bit, playing some Donkey Kong Country 3 as I'm closing in. I'm over 2/3 of the way through the game right now, and I'm 100%ing that bad boy. I'm loving every second of it. So find me over on the Side Scrollers Plays channel. It's an entirely separate channel over there. So yeah, appreciate everybody popping in, allowing us to do what we do on a day-to-day basis. Thanks so much for your support. Have a great rest of your day. And remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.